show you how to create lives left. So when you run out of lives, what you'll do is you'll go to a screen and the screen will actually say game over. What I did is I created a little screen here, frame number 2, and it just said game's over. I just wrote a bit of text there. And I did that by you press into a button and I just pressed F6 and that creates a new frame. Today I'll just concentrate on the code. I'll go over this again in class. I also created another frame that says level 2. What you'll do in level 2 is you can build a whole new level like that. So I've got students to do that in the past. So you put level 2 in here. So for the time being, there's game over, frame 2, and the new level is going to be in that frame there. Alright, let's go back and have a look at how I want to do some code now. Alright, I wrote on the board an algorithm that basically said that if you got hit by something, you'd start off with declaring a variable, and this variable will actually say, you know, lives of player will set, and so we've got 3 lives to start off with. Now every time we get hit, what I want to happen is that lives will be reduced by 1. So I've just come down here, and just where I get hit here, I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to write lives. It's a bit of a shortcut here, it's a sneaky shortcut, it's worth showing you how to do this. I could write lives, so lives equals lives minus 1. Alright, that's the longhand version. Here's a better way to do it. So what happens if we start off with 3, we get hit, we'll end up with 2, we get hit again, we end up with 1, we get hit again, we end up with 0. So a better way to do it is to do this. Lives minus minus. Now that's the same as sort of saying lives equals lives minus 1. So that's a better bit of code, right? So if you can just go minus minus and then that's it. So I just can do that. Now I want to see what's going on. So I use this trace function and I've put the variable in there. So I just put lives. What that will show me is how many lives I've got left. So when we tested it, we found there was a bit of a glitch in the program. I'll show you what happens. I'm going to get hit deliberately by this first one. So it says, you've been hit, and it says 2. Now when I go again, it should say 1, but look what happens. It still says 2. And I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And then it struck me when I was doing wrong and I went, oh no. Now, let's go back. Let's have a look at this code again. Then it struck me what I'm doing wrong. Now, this code works by having a big loop. So it starts here, every time it goes through the frame, it goes all the way down here, and then it comes up here, and it comes back, and it loops right around again. So everything in here is inside of a loop. Now it loops 25 frames a second. So what happened here, it said variable, it said lives equals 3. I then set it back to 2 because I got hit. When it came back up here again, it reset it as 3. So what I've got to do is I've got to put this outside of the loop, not inside of the loop, because I keep on resetting it. So I'll go close here. If I put it up here, it's actually outside of the loop. Now if I put variables equals 3, you'll see what happens. Play the game again now. Got hit, I've got 2 lives left. I could actually write 2 lives left if I wanted to. Bang, I get hit again. 1. And there. Now if I get hit again, it goes minus 1. So what would like to happen is when I get hit the 3rd time, the game should be over. You've been hit. Alright. How do I resolve that? Here's what I could do. Could write another if statement right at the very end. So when it gets to 0, it starts with 3, then 2, then 1, and when I get to 0, I'd like to have a little if statement that would actually make me go to a screen that says game over. So here's how I'm going to do that. If lives, now I have to put a double equal because it's equivalent to 0. We don't put a single 0 because that'll set it at 0. So we do this, double 0. Alright. So if I've set it at this, what do I want to happen? Well, what I want to happen is go to game over frame. That's what I want to happen. How does it do that? Well, here's the command. Go to and stop. Go to and stop, you'll see that's a special command. So it's just, and in ActionScript2, go to and stop will go to whatever frame you put in the brackets. So it goes to frame 2. It goes to that frame and it stops. So if I got live 0, it'll go to frame number 2. Now, frame number 2 is this frame. It's the frame that has game over on it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to test it to see if that works. Now the expected result is, it should go to this frame. We're going to see what the actual result is. Let's test it, let's see. Here we go. So now watch it happen. It goes to 2. You've been hit, go to 2. I could actually write lives left and I could say 2, but I won't do that yet. Got 1. Now it goes, is hit. Now this time when it gets hit, it'll actually equal 0, and then what it will do is it should go to the next frame. It should go to the frame that says game over. Bang, and it did it. So I went to this frame that says game over. Alright. Let's review. Let me show you how we did that. I'm going to just put a comment in here. So game over section. Alright. Now, first thing is, I have to declare the variable, and I have to declare the variable outside of the loop. The other bit of code I need to put in right at the very top is this code that says stop. If I don't put a stop code in here, it'll just loop here and here and here, just go round and round in circles. I'll just take this out, I'll comment this out and I'll show you what happens if we don't have that stop at the very start. See what happens? It just goes around and around and around. It just keeps on playing those free frames all the time. So that will give you a shock if you keep on looking at that. So the first thing we do, we stop that frame. So it stops it going to the next frame. It stops on this frame, in other words. We create a variable, lives equals 3. Good. So then what we do now, whenever we get hit, lives been reduced by 1, and we trace lives. Okay. Now I could actually make this, and then when we get to having no lives left, it goes to this frame and stops. Just while we're on that, I'm going to show you now how we're actually going to go to the next level. At the very start, I showed you I had this little box here. You can create a box if it isn't on your frame. I gave it a name. I converted it to a symbol. I gave it the name MC Home. And here I've got a bit of code. What happens when I get to MC Home? Well, at the moment, if I actually make it to there, all it says I'll actually write that down. So, at the moment it says trace, and it says I'm just going to write go to next level. Alright, I'm going to write the code for that. Go to next level frame, and in frame number 3 I've got a frame that says level 2. So here's where you start building level 2. Let's go right at the top here. What I'm going to do now, and now remember the code, go to and stop. It's in frame number 3, so that's what will happen. So this time when we hit this, when we hit the home, we get to the next frame. So let's test that. I've got here, we're coming down. I'm glitching it out deliberately because I don't think I can make it through this level. Alright, here, bang, go to level 2. So there you go. That's how you create, using timeline controls and using if statements, how to get to the next level. So what I'll do now is I'll just exit the movie. And guess what? I didn't record it.